Now, Sony just recently released the Sony WH-1000XM5s, and let's face it, the entire lineup, if you go back to the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, they sounded great. And every year they've improved on their sound signature. And if you were looking for headphones that had great bass, these were the ones to get. They also, over the years, have really been doing a fantastic job when it comes to active noise canceling, and I could highly, solidly recommend them. However, when it came to call quality, that's where they really fell short. Call quality was like making a phone call in a fishbowl. Really not at, I would say, at the level that you would expect from headphones like this. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the call quality, but we're also going to take a look at the features. And since we already know Sony sound great, we're going to kick off this review with the actual audio test. So you're going to hear exactly how these sound. Now we're using some high-tech equipment, some binaural technology that's going to capture what we're able to hear. So make sure that you have some headphones or earbuds on so you can actually feel the bass and you can hear how the mids, the highs, and the vocals come out, because these sound fantastic. Bottom line, if you're looking for headphones that sound great, you're not going to go wrong with these. These sound fantastic. But if you're looking for some that you can use both for listening to music and also taking phone calls, well, you're going to want to watch this video. Let's go ahead and check them out.
I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different. Still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments. Doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors. They kinda tell me what I'm thinking. I fell in love with the way we are.
How much of my voice is being heard through the Sony WH-1000XM5s in a quiet environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. This is what the Sony WH-1000XM5s would sound like if there is no active noise canceling. So we're going to turn on ambient sound now. Now this is what the Sony WH-1000XM5s sound like with the ambient sound enabled. So this is pass-through. This is how much is coming across. One more time, this is noise canceling on. This is how much my voice is being eliminated. I am literally next to the headphones, like if I was having a conversation walking next to someone.
Now Sony continues to have some very well-spec'd headphones, and the XM5s are no stranger to having great specs. From a battery life, you're going to be looking at two different areas. Active noise canceling on for phone calls, and then active noise canceling on and off when it comes to music streaming. So first of all, if you're looking for call quality, having phone calls on these, you're going to be able to get 24 hours with active noise canceling on. And if you turn off active noise canceling, then you're going to be able to get 32 hours of again, battery life, which is, again, spectacular. That means that if you're on a plane ride, if you're going somewhere, if you're on a trip, you're going to be able to use these for a couple of days. Now, if you're purely listening to music, what is your experience like? Well, depending on your, again, active on or active off, that noise canceling feature, you'll get 30 hours of music experience with active noise canceling on. And if you turn it off, then you're going to get 40 hours of experience. But this is the other cool thing about this, and this is an area of significant improvement. What if you run out of power? Well, plug them in for 3 minutes, and you're going to get 3 hours of playback. That's pretty incredible. Now, from an audio perspective and also an active noise canceling perspective, the Sonys have 8 mics. There's actually 8 mics, 4 in each one of these cups, that basically are going to do a couple things. First of all, they're going to be listening to the noise around you and giving you an amazing active noise canceling experience. I got to tell you, I've never been in a void, but imagine a void is where there's no sound and everything is completely, you know, it's just dead silence. When I put these things on, that's how my experience is. They have fantastic noise canceling. And what we're going to do is, as part of our test, we're also going to include your ability to be able to hear what I was able to hear just speaking with active noise canceling on. Now, it has also 4 beamforming mics, right? So 2 on each one that is going to assist you when it comes to call quality. They say that these are the best call quality headphones that Sony has created in this lineup. We're going to check that out. Transparency mode is available too. The cool thing about the transparency mode is that it's automatic or it's manual. So you could be listening in your own world, either gaming or listening or watching a movie, and then all of a sudden you need to speak to someone, and as soon as you start speaking, it will switch from active noise canceling to actually transparency mode or ambient mode, so you can hear what's going on around you. Now the transparency or ambient mode, like some people call it, is probably, it's not going to give you super hearing, but it's going to give you the ability to hear everything that's around you. Now, with that, you also have 360 reality audio. Now, this is going to be based on the service, so this is not just going to be available with any service that you listen to music, but if you want to have that 360 experience, there are services that you can subscribe to. It also has on-ear detection, right? So if you take them off, it'll stop. If you put them on, they'll also turn on. Bluetooth 5.2, and one of the cool things is that it has multi-point, which means that you can be connected to 2 devices at the same time. That means that if you're in a plane, or let's say you're in your home office or work office, and you're actually, let's say, taking a phone call in a work phone, and then all of a sudden another phone goes off and you have it paired, it's going to switch to that automatically. If you're doing media, for example, you're watching a movie and you get a phone call, movie on your tablet and phone call on your phone, it will switch automatically. So it does have multi-point technology. Now, one of the things it doesn't have, and this is been hard to find on any of the Sony products, is it has no IP rating. So, are they waterproof? Are they drizzle proof? Probably not. And I see a lot of you using these in the gym. I don't think it's a good idea, especially because there's no IP rating. Now, one thing that's changed, and I would say somewhat drastically, is the case itself. So look at how large this case is. Really love the fact that the Sonys were very compact, and in a time where everyone is going smaller from a case, this is going larger. So you have a cloth type case, and then as soon as you open it up or unzip them, you see your Sonys. And you'll notice that very similar to, I would say, the way Bose and then also Apple has their headphones, where you have them placed just like this. Now, they do not fold. So the old Sonys folded and they became very compact. These don't, and that's probably the reason for the case. Now here you have your cables, right? So here you have, again, your charging cable, USB-A to USB-C, and then here you have your audio cable that you'd use for listening to music if you want to do a physical plug. Now, again, this is how you stow them. So put them away just like this, and then you zipper them up, and that's pretty much, all there is to it. The case is, as you can see right here, we'll put it on the side, is a little bit thicker on this side because this is where the cups are, and then it gets thinner on the very top. So just wanted to highlight that that's one of the things that has changed significantly. That's the case. Now, the headphones themselves still look Sony, but they have changed quite a bit, okay? So here you see the headpiece here has like a memory foam and leather-like material here. It is flexible. Notice how much it flexes, so you're not going to have vicing that is going to be something that's going to squeeze your head. The cups themselves, the shape has changed, and then you'll notice here that this support area has also changed somewhat. It's kind of like a floating mechanism, so you notice it feels like they're broken, but they're really not. It feels like they could break, but they really don't. The actual earpieces themselves, we'll flip it this way, you can see are large. You have that memory foam material, doesn't cause overheating, and overall, I would say the overall experience with these has been really pleasant for me. There are no physical buttons on the sides here that control kind of like play pause, although you do have some physical buttons here, right? So you have your physical button for pairing and on and off, and then you have here your A and C as well. You'll notice that you have your, again, little ear, or the jack, the aux jack, and then USB-C on this side. Let's take a closer look and see how they look on. Now, when you put these on, it's really important that you have the mics facing in the right direction. So if you look at right here, you're going to notice that you have your right and you have your left, right? So it's kind of tucked away in this area right there, but you can see what they look like. So all we're going to do now is that we have them in the right area. We're going to put these on so you can see what it looks like. Now, one of the things I like about Sony is that you don't have a lot of space here. So as soon as you put them on, you'll notice that they are very tapered. And I'm going to turn to the right. And I'm going to turn to the left over here. And you can see what they look like. And the passive noise canceling on these is very good, meaning that as soon as you put them on, it's really filtering out a lot of the noise. And I can hear well, I hear my voice more like in a fishbowl, but it's really cut out a lot of the noise. As soon as you turn on active noise canceling, it's like silent. It's like a void. Very, very, very cool. But for those of you who are concerned about what they look like on, you notice that they don't really have a large footprint, and I've used them for a couple hours already, and they don't feel like they cause any kind of fatigue. So let's talk about now my overall active noise canceling experience. The Sony app has a lot of options. It has adaptive noise canceling where it can listen to what's going on in your room. It does also have, you know, different settings where you can change the profile. Everything that you've heard so far on the channel is default, so you can make it sound the way you want it to sound. But highly recommend that you get the app because the app is going to allow you to update, and it's also going to allow you to personalize. Let's check out the call quality next. Now next we're going to do a call quality test of the Sony WH-1000XM5s, but this time in a quiet environment. As you take a look at our decibel readings, about 24 to 26 decibels of noise. It's going to switch. Now this is what the Sony WH-1000XM5s would sound like in a quiet environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now we're going to add some wind to our environment. This is what the Sony WH-1000XM5s would sound like with wind in the environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now we're bringing in a lot of noise into the environment, and as you can see here, our decibel readings are anywhere between 30 to 79 decibels in noise. What we're going to do is we're going to switch to the Sonys. We're going to stay quiet for a little bit to see how much is being canceled, and then we'll continue with the vocal test. Let's go and switch. Now, this is what the Sony WH-1000XM5 sound like in a noisy environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is your test. We're continuing our test of the Sony WH-1000XM5s, but this time with an infant crying in the background. This is what they would sound like if an infant were crying in the background. Now, if you have dogs in your home, this is what the Sony WH-1000XM5s would sound like if dogs were barking in the background. Now, if you're home and the doorbell's ringing, this is what the Sony WH-1000XM5s would sound like if the doorbell was ringing. Now, one question all of you may be asking, are the Sony WH-1000XM5s worth the buy or the upgrade? I have to say that the active noise canceling and the mic improvements for call quality are definitely something that I would consider. Also, just the overall aesthetics, I'm kind of digging the new look. I wish they folded a little bit more, but they're great. See you in the next video.